Well, the Atlantic province has weathered previous waves of COVID better than the rest of Canada, but they were no match for Omicron. In Nova Scotia, hospitals are under the most significant pressure since the start of the pandemic, yet students are heading back to class on Monday. Tim Houston is the Premier of Nova Scotia. He's in Pictou County. Premier Houston, welcome back to the show.
Thanks so much. Happy to be here.
I'd like to start, if I can, by talking about the COVID-19 situation in Nova Scotia. I mean, earlier this week, your Chief Medical Officer, Robert Strang, said that your province is facing the most serious pressure on the healthcare system since the pandemic began. I wonder if you can give us a sense of what your province is facing right now.
Yeah, I mean, we're no different than anywhere else with this new variant. It's moving around a lot. And so right here in Nova Scotia, we have about 60 people that are in the hospital as a direct result of COVID. They couldn't manage their COVID at home anymore, and they're in the hospital. We also have about another 150, 160 people who are in the hospital, maybe for other reasons, but have COVID. So, a total of over 200 people in the hospital. That's a big need, big push on the resources that are available in the hospital. So, and we know that our healthcare workers are working hard. They're under pressure anyway, and plus they're having to manage these additional COVID cases. Well, they're short-staffed because their colleagues are off. So we know that there's a lot of pressure on the healthcare system. Our healthcare professionals are, they're digging in, and they're really kind of stepping up over the last 2 years through the whole pandemic. But there's pressure right now. So there's a lot of COVID around. We have a high number of cases that we're not used to seeing in this province, and some of those people are, needing the assistance of the hospital. So we're worried about that. We're keeping an eye on that. We're monitoring that very, very closely.
We've heard some premiers, like Premier Legault, saying that they think cases have maybe peaked in their province, and we're getting a sense from people like Dr. Tam and others that, the peak will come soon, and it'll be uneven in different provinces. Where do you think it is right now in Nova Scotia in terms of your curve?
Yeah, I think we're kind of on the soon side of the coin. Everyone, of course, they're tired of the pandemic, wants the pandemic to be over, and we hope it ends soon. But hope is not a good management strategy. But we would say we're the end is close. I mean, certainly we've had high case numbers here now for almost a month, I guess. So we're working hard to get boosters in our arms, where we have almost 90% of our population vaccinated. So we have a high coverage with the vaccines. So that's helping a lot because the vaccines are very effective especially in reducing the severity of the illness. But we believe too as well that the peak will be soon. We're not there yet. There's going to be some highs and lows and some tough days between now and the peak, but we do believe the peak is soon.
So you think the peak is soon, but not past, but you're going ahead and opening up schools, and I know, Premiers King and Premiers Fury have decided to delay until the 24th. I mean, why are you confident going ahead on Monday with back to school?
Yeah, we delayed the return to in-person by a week, and that'll start on Monday, the 17th. So look, we're weighing up. These are tough decisions. Dr. Strang and I have said this is probably the toughest decision. But you weigh it all up, and we know that for many kids, school is the safest possible place for them. For many kids, school is where they're warmest. We're in wintertime now. Many kids get their nutrition and food at school. So we know all the social benefits, the benefits to the mental health. So looking at what's in front of us, we do believe that our schools are safe. Our teachers will be safe there. The staff will be safe. The students will be safe. And we think it's time to go ahead. But we watch it closely. And, if we get new information that we have to make a different decision, we'll make a different decision. We're not afraid to make this decisions. But right now, when we weigh it all up, you look at the epidemiology, you look at the severity of the illness, you look at, all the factors, and you weigh that up against where's the best place for our kids in particular. And we believe that's in school. So, look, we're worried and we're anxious just like everyone else, but we'll continue to look at the information, and we'll make the best possible decision we can make at the time. And right now, that decision is the kids should be in school. That's the advice of public health. That's also advice that's supported by leading pediatricians here in Nova Scotia. But I know there's lots of people that think it's not the right decision. But this is the decision that the advice of public health and medical experts, and we're gonna go back to in-person school on Monday.
Okay, on the topic of kids, and in this case, childcare, today you announced that parents in Nova Scotia with children in regulated nonprofit daycares are going to see their fees reduced by 25% beginning April 1st. That's ahead of schedule. So how did you reach a point where you're able to reduce these fees earlier than expected?
Yeah, that's in a world sometimes where there's not much good news. This is tremendous news. I'm really excited about this. So in actual fact, the reduction of 25% in fees is retroactive to January 1st. So parents and families and caregivers here in Nova Scotia are already paying less for their childcare, and we'll true that up in April with kind of a check back to make that whole, or a credit going forward. So, but look, how did we get there? We're ahead of schedule. Just a lot of hard work. I mean, we looked at the agreement that was in place. It's a good agreement. We're on track to $10 a day, but the goal was 50% reduction by the end of the year. So we've done 25% now. We'll do the other 25% towards the end of the year. But we feel the urgency. The agreement with the federal government is so good for families, and we know all of the positive social impacts about having access to quality childcare. We know all the social impacts, but there's always also huge economic impacts when you enable, families and predominantly women in childcare, the ability to return to the workforce. There are huge economic spin-offs and benefits to that too. So this is a great agreement. I'm really happy the federal government, Minister Gould, right from the Prime Minister's office, worked very closely with our Minister Drouin here and our team here. The teams all got together and said, how can we make this happen quicker? Mm-hmm. And they found a way. So this is a great agreement. It's a great partnership, and it's a really good day for Nova Scotian families.
Well, part of this agreement is to give a raise to the early childhood educators. That's part of the larger framework. When can they expect to see a pay increase? The parents are going to get their rebate or credit on April 1. What about the people who work in those centers?
Yeah, so our early childhood educators, I mean, they're so critical in helping our kids grow and learn and be ready for the world. So the work they do is unbelievable, particularly through the pandemic. It's been, the pressures have been felt there just as much as anywhere or more. So we're thankful for them, and there is a framework to go in place that looks at their compensation and their benefits, and that work is ongoing. But we do feel the urgency. And alongside of that as well, we're creating new spots. So accessibility and access is a huge issue. So just this fall, we'll open up 1,500 new spots around the province, predominantly in areas where there really is not much access to childcare. So that's a really good thing as well. We're on the path to 9,500 more spots by the time we get to the $10 a day. So there's lots of good things happening. The compensation for our ECEs and their benefit package, that stuff is all ongoing still. Right. It's still in the work, but we do feel that urgency to get that done too.
Just one final point on this. So what about for-profit centers? Because this is for non-profit childcare centers. The for-profit centers have until the end of March to transition to be a non-profit center. Otherwise, they lose government funding and they can't offer this cheaper rate and this program to parents. So is that enough time? And what kind of a disruption could that cause in your childcare space supply?
Yeah, look, it's our for-profit centers have been there supporting communities, supporting families, and doing incredible work for the children of this province. So we're thankful for that. We understand. I'm completely sympathetic that this is they get some big decisions to make. There's a path forward for them to be part of the process, part of the long-term stable solution for accessible, quality childcare in the province. So what we've reached out to them. There's a lot of discussions, and I certainly, as I say, I understand the pressures that they're under to make some pretty significant decisions. As a province, we've made some funding available so that they can reach out to seek their own professional advice and make decisions going forward. So they'll have to make a decision, and the decision's coming quick. You're right; it's in March on whether they want to participate or whether they want to continue on the way they're going. But the news story, this is a historic change to the delivery of childcare in this province. And anytime you make a historic change, there's going to be, there's ramifications, and we're conscious of that. This is a good thing for childcare in the province, a good thing for childcare in the country. And we want to work with those for-profit centers to make sure that they see the path where they can be part of this. But no question, this is some incredibly tough decisions they have to make.
Okay. Premier Houston, thanks so much for your time.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Hi, I'm Vashi Capellos, host of Power in Politics. See more of our show by subscribing to the CBC News channel or click the link for another video.